Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pies Presser as we lean into the game against Fremantle this Sunday. It's time to talk all things black and white. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're well. Had some time to let some water go under the bridge since that game against the Gold Coast Suns. A lot of intel downloaded, I'm sure, from that game and how we feel about it now. Obviously, we did the fan takeaways yesterday, and it's always interesting to get people's opinions on how they saw the game. And for the most part, it wasn't very pessimistic, was it? Like, you'd have to be some sort of special breed to have not enjoyed or seen the good side to what that game brought. All right, let's check in. Andoni, Yasul, Maddie, welcome. Stewie, Benny, Southeast, Badri, Mello, and Nicole, and Stephanos. Welcome. I hope you're all well. LAB. You know, there's no injury update thus far. So I need somebody. I'll constantly check, but I will keep an open eye on the website. And there's nothing on the AFL website either. So we're going to have to wing this, guys. I'm going to need your help. We're going to have to wing this predicted 23. You know what we'll do here is we'll go to Twitter. This is not a PORNO. This is a tweet, just so you guys know. You haven't caught me in 4K. This is just tweets. Let's go to Jen. Let's have a look what training brought us. And who trained and all that sort of stuff. So, Liam McMahon, former AFL draftee for Collingwood, is set to make his debut for Essendon on Thursday night. Okay. Noah Howes, coach's MVP. Cool. Jen's always got the updates. Let's have a look. Okay. Bobby on the track. Good. Okay. How gonna obviously doing some rehab, so we know he's gonna miss a couple weeks at this point, so he won't be in our predicted 23, will he? Geordie training, which is good, but he's still got some time till he finds himself back in match condition. Frampton training fully. I think we'll know more about Frampton on Thursday. I'm actually going to start going to the main training sessions. I've worked a way around my full-time job to attend the main training sessions. And what you'll get is you guys are going to get a report. So I'll post a video of just me talking to you like so. And then the following day, I'm going to post I'm hoping 20 minutes of training content. No interruptions. So you have 2 videos, so you'll be spoilt for choice. So Frampton training fully, Bo training with the mids. Any comments here? Not unusual for the first session. How is Nick Jan at risk of not getting up? He didn't do the whole session. Thursday will be more telling. Okay. That's exciting. Where is Josh? Half back. Okay. Bo and Frampton play. This fills my heart. Can't wait to... Okay, cool. Fast-paced midfield. Okay. Yep. So Bo training with the mids. Great. What were there any other comments around the Frampton? Reckon he plays. Looks promising. Thursday, we'll see how he goes. Can you refer to him as the franchise moving forward? Great. Well, so in the injury report last week, he was listed to be 2-3 weeks out. So this would be quite a turnaround. It's certainly necessary. It's a necessity to have Frampton back. Westy out of the moon boot, which is good. McCreary was tearing it up, so he has a good chance to return. Liked Markov, should stay half back with Josh into the middle. Evening, Melissa. How are you? Okay. Others will get it just because that doesn't. Okay. All right. So that's the update from Jen. So I've just been frantically refreshing this page to see if they're going to give us an injury update, but it doesn't seem like that. So yes, we are going to wing the Predictor 23. I'm sure we can make some wise assumptions for the Predictor 23. But as it stands, this is where it was. Hold on, updated the 14th of July. Yeah, but that doesn't tell us. That doesn't sound accurate, does it? 14th of July, but they're saying 2 to 3 weeks. They're saying 1 to 2 weeks. They're saying protocol. Yeah, it's not up. That's not accurate in my opinion. Finlay McRae is still 3 to 5. Dom, we are expecting Howe to be out for 1 to 2 weeks. All training today, cool, and Bobby Hill as well. Does Bobby Hill return this week though? Who knows? Bobby trained good. Frampton trained, looked good. Muggsy trained. Oh, you mean Bugsy? Yep. Nakos trained, didn't do match sim, but ran laps. Degoe trained, brilliant. Cool. How to miss a week or two? Correct. All right. What else? What is on our mind going into this game against the Dockers? They had a much needed win. Who did they play? They beat Hawthorn. So they were a team that was sort of around the mark with us, or not with us, but like in that top 4 sort of domain. And what does that mean for the actual ladder? What does this all mean, this round that's just happened? So we're 14-3. Okay, cool. We're a game and a half clear. All right, we're 2 games clear. And percentage is right on. So this is obviously, without stating the obvious, this is a big game against Freo. And it's a big game for Freo. Like these games right now, like Gold Coast, are the difference between top 4 for them and top 8. And, potentially slide here. That's the difference. 2 games clear. You just got to keep winning at this point. Got to keep winning. So we have Fremantle. If we beat Fremantle and then beat Richmond, you'd almost like to think that you have that top 2 position sewn up and hoping at some point these 3 teams here drop points along the way. Dad, how are you? 2 more dogs, eh, Dad? Crazy. We need tools this week so Cox stays. It'll be in the conversation. I think Bobby Hill could potentially be back soon, was training a bit with the main player, so he didn't train fully, did he? We need to get the midfield mix right this week. That is going to be the biggest juggle and the biggest roadblock for the Pies. It's a roadblock that we can work around, but that roadblock is just trying to figure out what that midfield balance looks like. When Josh Dacos was going crazy against Gold Coast, ironically, Nick Dacos I don't think was on the field for a great deal of that 4th quarter. Same with Tom Mitchell. Tom Mitchell only had 2 touches in that 4th quarter. Still, Sidebottom hardly played in the midfield. I think he played like 16%. So if we go here, let's do AFL data. Like that was one of those games where Sidey just hardly spent time in the middle, and the question is, does Tom Mitchell and Ned Long in the same side, does that affect the presence of Steele Sidebottom in the midfield on ball? Because you look at this year, round 18 being the round that just passed, was his 3rd lowest midfield on ball time for the season. And how did he go? Coming off illness, to be fair, right? He had 13 touches. It was actually besides the Fremantle game where he was subbed. Was he subbed out? He was, wasn't he? Time on ground for the Fremantle game. Yeah, he was subbed out for the Fremantle game. So outside of that, the game against Gold Coast was Sidey's lowest rated game for the season. So there is that consideration with the balance between Tom Mitchell, Ned Long, and Sidebottom. I think it affects that group. Last week, we probably weren't saying that, yeah? We probably weren't saying that was going to be a problem. Or at least we're saying the experiment of having Tom Mitchell and Ned Long and Sidebottom all on the same team. We're all saying the experiment should last another week. And that week was against Gold Coast. Now they have quite a decision to make, don't they? All right, let's catch up to the comments. Yeah, it'd be a ridiculous recovery if he gets up. Like, I think we're going to assume, for the Predictor 23, we are going to assume that Billy Frampton is not available. We've done well against Freo at the G. Our record, Southeast. Can you tell us what our record is at the G? I suppose I can check the match preview. It's great. On the couch last night. Wish they'd be regular. I didn't watch on the couch, to be honest. Selection is intriguing this week. Players coming back, and I know we lost last week. Yeah, that doesn't help, for sure. Lions have a tough draw. Dacos trained with the midfield group. Maybe a sign of things to come. I read what they want. Bobby. I read that they want Bobby to get some... Of course, yeah, the conditioning is going to be what they're after. Benny, thanks for the 5, brother. What are we saying? What are we saying? Why can't I open it? Here we go. Lions and Crows nipping at us close, but bonus is we get to play them and determine it. Geelong get no say on what's around them in their draw. I like that. I like that perspective, Benny. The fact that we get to play the Lions and the Crows, and it's in our hands. So if we want that top 2 spot, we have the pen and the paper to pretty much write the narration that we see in the next 4 weeks or whatever it is. How can you have Sidey, Long, and Mitchell in the centre bounce? It's suicidal. Who knows? Who knows, man? Put it up as a poll. Midfield mix. What would that be though? I feel like most of you, from what I'm gauging, Tom Mitchell will be the first one to bite the bullet and unfortunately make way at some point. I can't see them dropping Steele Sidebottom. I wouldn't be incredibly surprised if they drop Ned Long, but it still would remain a surprise given he's put in such a big body of work this season. You know, ironically, Tom Mitchell was like the 3rd highest rated player for Collingwood against the Gold Coast Suns. Christian says, can't wait for Frampton to come back into the side. He's been a significant pillar for our backline and shit. Yeah, just don't rush him though, true. Tim, how you doing? Frampton will get up from Jen's video and Bo trained. I don't know. I just think are we rushing Billy Frampton? He was supposed to be out for 5 weeks. In last week's injury report, he was 2 to 3 away. I understand the need to get him back in the side, but I oversee that and I look further and I go, well, the need is to have him available for the final series, not Sunday. And we've won including a... I remember going to that final, actually. I forget about that one. If we lose to Dockers and the Tigers, we'll be in a world of trouble, but I really don't... look, stranger things have happened, but I don't see us losing against Richmond, but... You got to play the game. Bo trained in the midfield group. I mean, he does that quite frequently, Tim, at training, doesn't he? Who does everyone think goes in backline? Tricky question, which we'll get to in just a second. I think Dan plays off the half back line this week. He pretty much has been though, hasn't he? I feel like he has been, Stu. What else we got? Crows at Adelaide, we can win that. And then Demons at the G, should be a win. To me, Lions and Hawks will be the biggest challenge of this run home to finals. So it will prepare us for what we are set to embark on in the final series, and that's a tough run. Geelong, they're a bit there. They're not there yet. I think Brisbane are the side at the moment. Considering how good Nick was at halfback in 2023, would it be worth? I feel like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul to swap to swap Josh and Nick in their roles. I would really like to see Josh and Nick feature in the same centre bounce and see what that looks like. Sarong needs to be tagged. I don't want to see any arrogance. Dommy, thanks for the 10, brother. Appreciate the support. My man. Tim Nelson can't play Titch and Long. In my opinion, Long can have a rest. See what Titch can do by himself. He's a proven commodity. Rest Ned Long, you reckon? That's certainly a way to see how Tom Mitchell functions in a side without Ned Long and against good opposition. This is the problem. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. Is that right? Is it time is of the essence or time is not of the essence? What I'm trying to say is we don't have much time to fuck around and flirt about with our midfield mix. I think, just got to get it right ASAP. True? Was that you, AB, as well? Hold on. Okay, so you did say something. Okay, so Long might do with a freshen up. Too much focus on negatives on Mitchell if he brings a lot. He brings a lot to the team. He's not untouchable, but don't underrate him either. Fair? No worry. Just me. I reckon we keep Josh down back and keep as a wild card. See, that's the more conservative outlook on it. Because we know what to expect from Josh off the half back line. Right now, Josh in the midfield is a bit of the unknown. It could go one way, it could go the other. It'll be, you know what? It will be interesting to see what type of midfield mix we get on Sunday. I think that's one of the things we'll all be looking forward to. More than just playing against Fremantle, a side who is, if they're nearly a top 4 fancy, then they should be considered in the premiership conversation. So they're another premiership rival this year. They're that close. So if we lose to them, they're in that bubble. Despite being I'm pretty sure they're one of the younger sides in the league. We can't put another performance like we did against the Suns. Should win comfortably against Freo. Careful how complacent you go walking into that game, MD. Roan Steele, I think, would be dropped if we have Lipinski. We'll get to the predicted 23 in a moment. Freo have won 6 in a row, correct? They lost to Sydney last week, Voidoid. Mitchell looks slow to me. Long has had a great season. The choice is obvious. Hey, you share the opinion of many. I will say that. Rest Long against Richmond. Leave Wombat in. It's just another risk. Like resting Long after having such great continuity in a side is a risk. Inherent risk. Simple long runs with Nick and Mitch runs with Pendles. Nick always gets up. He must be sore. He's always sore, isn't he? Josh into the middle, Nick back. Nick is not taking the best option inside 50, trying too hard to kick goals and win. Pretty happy with Nick in the middle at the moment. Once again, that just redirects us back into the conversation of how much risk do you want to take, putting Nick at half back, Josh in the middle, resting Ned Long. Like, these are the guys. There's a lot of changes. Come on. Let's pause for a second. We're asking for a lot of consideration towards some changes over the next couple of weeks. Let's be mindful how close we are. Apparently, Peter Dacos has been bugging Fire to play Josh in the middle from round 1. He was onto something. I don't think Josh Dacos is the midfielder that he is right now without playing the entire of this season thus far in the back line. I think he's worked on his contest, his defensive awareness, these sort of things. Giga Chad clearly missed Lipper last week. Him coming back and Bo will do wonders. All right. Give me a Y in the chat if you want to do the Predictor 23. Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? Predictor 23. In the meanwhile, I'll quickly check if there's any update on the Collingwood website, but I don't think there is. Do you know the way? Do you know the way? I like Josh Dacos. That could be a position we see him play a bit more in as we go along. It's going to be Stewie Steen to debut against the Tigers. Ink it in. Do you know the way? All right. People forget that Pendles came on, missed a goal from 30, and then gave away a goal from a free kick. He got better, but I think he played a strong role in turning it around. You can't say having that old wise man on the field after half-time changed things. I think we'll plus 5 goals with him on the field and minus 8 or something with him off. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. Do you know the way? All right. If we move this, or if we move this over. So you know the deal, guys, by now, yeah? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the intro, and then we're going to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Predictor 23 for the game between the Pies and a top 4 fancy in the Dockers on Sunday at the G. This is it's just another game we cannot take lightly. I think Fremantle are on a significant run within their own respect right now, and they're a game away from being within that top 4 domain. So they're going to have everything on the line on Sunday, and it's going to be a massive fixture. We have to bring the energy and not leave it at home like we did against Gold Coast in that first half. So we don't have the injury update. However, with Jen's lovely journalism work, she was at training. She's provided the Twitter updates, and we can gauge off that as to who may or may not be playing. So Frampton is one in conversation, okay? Personally, and we're doing this live as well, so people in the live chat, personally, I don't think we flirt with this guy. He got through training, full training. The game is until Sunday, but last week he had 2 to 3 weeks next to his name. Do you want to risk Frampton in a game against Freo? Or would you be conservative with Frampton and have him right for the final series? Yes, I know we don't have Jeremy Howe, so we put him here straight away, yeah? I understand that, and I can appreciate that we're going to be short without Frampton and Howe. So for that reason, trying to be conservative, and when our key defender stocks aren't deep right now, I'm leaving Frampton on the injury table for another week. Come back against Richmond. That's what I say. Okay? So, we still haven't even put someone on the field yet, to be fair. Which means Darcy Moore, the way he's playing right now, just needs to keep doing that. He's playing exceptionally. Danny Stav says Big Roo. I've been watching Big Roo in the VFL. He's still not ready. He's not there yet. That would be the biggest surprise of them all in 2025 if Illaru Smith was given a debut on a weekend. I actually think, so here's the logic. I'm looking at these 2 names. I'll put them here for you. I'm looking at Charlie Dean again as a stopgap for this week alone, right? Or, where are you? Why can't I see McStay? Am I blind, guys? Membry, McCreary, Hayes, Billy, Hill, West, Myercheck. Okay. I'm either blind or McStay is somewhere else, so I'm going to duplicate Myercheck. I feel like I'm missing him somewhere, but that's okay. Anyways, my point is, do we do this? And Membry's already had his kid, guys, so I think Membry plays. He had his kid yesterday or something like that. So I'm not too stressed about Membry not playing. So I'm thinking Charlie Dean or McStay to cover the gap. I for me, it's a toss of a coin. I'm going to say against Fremantle, who do have a really good forward line, I think I'm still going to bring in Charlie Dean because but then Mason Cox is still on the side and I don't know if it's worth taking him out yet. So I'm going to flip. This is what I'm going to do. I don't know if this happens. I really don't. I don't know. So McStay, Darcy Moore, and maybe we keep Charlie Dean there for a second. Dan Houston, who I think we'll see get more of the footy. I think Josh Dacos still will start off the half-back line, but at some point he will rotate into the midfield. So there's no question about that. I think Markov's been good as well. I think Markov's been good, so we put him on the bench. Quaynor's done well. Will Hoskin-Elliott had a down game, but I just don't drop him off the back of that. I really don't. And then, we'll put Will Hoskin-Elliott there, and he'll rotate through, most likely through the back line. And then Bruzzy as well, right? McStay, please. McStay. Everyone's saying McStay, not Charlie Dean. Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm making the right decision based on what you guys want. Lipinski will be an in, right? Lipinski will be an in. I think Sidey in. Allen's name is in question. And I think just off the... See, the thing is, I liked Rowan Steele's game. Yes, he didn't get many touches, but I did like his game. However, Allen does have a point of difference. Once again, I'm rolling the dice here. I think Allen comes in, and I believe perhaps we go with Rowan Steele to be dropped. Rowan Steele. But he was good. He was good. But this is my gut feel. I think we've gotten a lot from Ed Allen. And as much as I'd like to see Steele continue to develop, I think maybe he goes back to the twos and we'll see his name again for sure. Whether it's this year or next year, I'm sure this guy's name is here to stay for the long term. Just based off the 2 games we've seen so far. McStay will not play back. No chance McStay gets put back. I wouldn't put McStay back. You can always play Bruzzy on Tracy. So you guys are saying no Charlie Dean and no McStay. Potentially. McStay backline. You guys aren't feeling it. Some of you are, some of you aren't. Okay. All right, I'll put him over here then. All right. Bloody hell. So then maybe Cox's position is in some strife then. Let's if that's the case. Darcy Cameron here. Darcy Moore there. Fuck, I guess Will Hoskin-Elliott's playing centre half back then, ladies and gentlemen. Gee whiz. I don't think Frampton plays. I think it's too risky. Way too risky. He's coming off what was supposed to be a 5-week calf issue. Just risking him right before the final series. I think we're going to be a lot more conservative with that. He's an outside chance is what we're hearing, yeah? Crisp here. Pendle's in. Nick Dacos. Ned Long. Bobby Hill did train. He did train. Does he play? We'll leave him here for a second. We'll leave him there for a second. Jamie Elliott there. Membry here. Myercheck. Bo McCreary. I think Bo McCreary actually comes back in, guys, from what I'm hearing at try. I heard he trained fully. His hammy wasn't as significant as the injury that Billy Frampton endured with the calf. So we'll do that. You reckon Bobby Hill plays? Where's Shooter? Why am I missing certain players here? Because they're all down. Bro, I literally had to scroll down. They're here. Far out. All right. Whatever. Okay. So Shooter goes there. Yeah? God, that was dumb. All right. Now we're getting into some tricky territory here. Perryman, obviously. It doesn't leave a lot of space. It doesn't... Geez, this... Okay, hold on. So maybe we do this. Markov sub. Markov sub. Bobby won't play. Not enough workload. Okay, so we don't do that then. So this is the issue. Do we do this? Do we just go extra tall like we did against West Coast, although that didn't work great, and then Cox can help out with the back line? Yes, there is a potential that Frampton plays, but I'm going to bet against it, so he's not there. So thus far, shit, I mean, we've got to give Titch a chance. All right, I'm going to make a quick poll. If it came down to this, who is in and out? Who is out? All right. Tom Mitchell, Mason Cox. If it came down to this, because one spot, we've got McCreary in. And it's at the G, so it could be wet. Who knows? Who is out? Quick. Give me your feedback. Cox has to be in, says Stu. BC says, not top heavy if it's wet. Okay, so we're going to go, who's in? Allen, Lipinski, McCreary. We'll give them the green light, won't we? I'm thinking Bobby Hill might play versus Tigers next week. They might give Bobby another week, I reckon. I think that sounds reasonable. Most of you are saying Tom Mitchell out. I'd select Hill over Allen every day of the week and twice on Sunday, even if unfit. Bobby trained on Saturday. He will come back. We don't know. We just don't know. You guys are very, very absolute with your suggestions. No rain all weekend. Okay. Looks like you guys want Tom Mitchell out. Okay. Hi, Manny. I got censored off the Carlton channels due to political correctness, so let's see how I go. Welcome, mate. You need to play Cox to help Darcy Kane with Jackson and then Darcy. Bobby is fit enough. That's the thing. You got Luke Jackson and Darcy as well. All right. Let's go. Coxie holds. Hill will nurse you until Richmond. And those are our outs, right? 14 and no rain. McStay back. I'm still here for it, says AB. Look, he's in the side and we can see what happens. One of the M's must go back. Why can't I copy these? One. Fuck, I'm cooking it. Here we go. All right. Red. And that is... And who are the emergencies? Well, obviously, we'll just pretend these are the emergencies, right? This is sort of redundant at this point. I'm pretty happy. Is there anyone else that's sort of in the conversation? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think anyone else is there. McStay can compete with Darcy. Luke Jackson plays as a rover. He does. He's been doing that. Bobby Hill can be sub. Mitchell in is Freo. We have strong mids and wing clearances. Hey, thank goodness that this is not the job that we actually have to do on a week-to-week basis, and it's in the hands of the selection committee, because this is bloody difficult. So, go work, agree, Luke. Elliot blitzes when not impeded by three talls. How's it been going? How's I feel like Jamie Elliott's been going all right, hasn't he? What's his last few games been with the big boys back in the side? I know some of you have concerns when there's three big M's in the forward line. He doesn't quite play as well. He had 6 shots. Shit, I didn't even realize he kicked 3 goals, 3. He's had 15 shots in the last 2 games with all the big fellas there. So I'm not too sure if that's a valid conversation, a valid argument. 6'9", like he's getting his shots. He's getting some and more. So I wonder, is there anything else we should ask about this? So let's say, okay, so most of you said Tom Mitchell out. Okay, cool. What about if no Frampton, small ball, McStay back line, Charlie Dean in? All right, that's a good question, I feel. Because I think that's the biggest issue we have, right, or the biggest conundrum we're dealing with right now in the chat. If no Frampton, do we just go small ball in the back line? Do we put McStay in the back line or Charlie Dean in? I'm missing Bo. Nah, Bo's down here. Yeah, Billy is. I should just change that to Elliot because it does confuse some people. I think your selection of McStay down back with Cox in solves our problems, but doubt they'll do it. Yeah, this is definitely gonna break hearts. This is difficult. So it's not cut and dry, is it? With this poll, it's quite. If you guys can bear to click one of the answers, we'll get a better idea with a larger sample size. But 25 votes in, and most of you are saying, or the majority are saying McStay backline. So interesting. We'll probably, again, I think for those who are joining late, I will be at training on Thursday, which will be the main training session. So we'll get a good look at on Thursday, perhaps, see if any of the big M's play in the back line to help us out. But the depth is crazy. Is Smith worth a go in the back line if Frampton not ready? Is Rue ready? Rue is not ready. Nah. Been watching him a lot in the VFL. Been watching him closely. He just doesn't really find a way to impact the game just yet in the back line. He had a decent game maybe 3-4 weeks ago in the back line, but he's just... He is a Joey. He's a baby Roo at the moment. Could Cochrane play? No. Cochrane is more of a running defender at this moment. That's where I stand with Cochrane. And even then, as a running defender, I just don't think he's ready. I think I'd still have TJ, Jacob Ryan, and Will Parker before Cochrane. But Cochrane does have that, because he has that point of difference, Cochrane, being that height. Nakos might need to play halfback, let Josh take his midfield spot as Nick can chill. Hey, that's a bold claim, greatness, to suggest that Nick Dacos should go to the back line after seeing 1/4 of Josh Dacos in the midfield. Too risky, man. Too risky this late in the season. I'm all for seeing more of Josh Dacos in the midfield, but not at the expense of Nick Dacos not playing at all in the midfield. Lipper, check. Lipper, Bo... Wait, Inns, Lipper, check. Oh, my check was out. So sorry, hold on. Wait, what's going on here? My check didn't play, did he? My check did not play. So what's going on here? Help me out. If I've got 4 ins, yeah, why do I only have 3 outs? Oh, guys, we forgot about Sully. How did none of you guys pick that up? Not one of yous realised that Sullivan and Myercheck weren't mentioned. So obviously Myercheck green, Sullivan red. And those are our changes. 4 changes, man. Wow. Nick didn't even train fully. I mean, I doubt Nick trains most weeks fully. Some players won't train. You did notice, Nicole? You should have screamed it out. Should have screamed louder. So on Thursday after training, take a 246 bus up Punt Road and check out. See, I don't, beyond the Richmond sector, that's where I draw my line, and then I I actually bounce back off that line or that wall, that invisible wall, back to the southeast. So there are 4 changes. Wowee. Okay. Did we get any Josh to play midfield for the rest of the year? May need a rest in the coming weeks. Good pickup. Sully or Ed? I think. Okay, so now some of you are saying Sully or Ed. Okay. Fair. Let's do that then. What was the results for that poll, by the way? Geez, it's an even spread. 37 and 37% between small ball and mixed day backline. Okay. Sometimes the comments, they just ring louder in the ears when you hear people say mixed day in the backline. Lol. So, who do you prefer right now? I thought Sullivan tried to take on the game a couple times, and some people call it hero ball, but I liked seeing if Sullivan can try to take the game on and have a big moment. Didn't quite work out, but I think with more experience, I think he could have those moments and be that guy in stoppages, potentially. Yeah, it's a serious headache. It's horrible. Checking the Collingwood website again to see if there's any injury report update. I'm guessing because it's a Sunday game, we won't get the injury report till Wednesday, which I can't do the stream on Wednesday anyways, so we've had to make do with this. Bring Magin in. Nice one. It's split. It's almost 60-40 Allen way. 55-45 so far with the votes. Sullivan plays better on the G, more time. Not Magin. Just not a fan of Sullivan. He's been solid, but not a player stressed over if he's dropped. I'm probably in that same bandwagon. It is hard. By the way, if you guys are on the gram and you want to follow Pies Footy, it is at Pies_footy. I do post there. Admittedly, I'm inconsistent at times because I'm just trying to figure out what to post. I don't want to be the one who just posts articles or like team news, if that makes sense. I want to I'm leaning towards posting opinions at the moment, like Instagram catered reels. So what you see on Instagram, you won't actually see on the YouTube channel. My biggest gripe with media, like short form media, like TikTok and Instagram, is I've got to try capture the audience's minds and retain them for 30 seconds to 90 seconds. To do that, you have to be quite absolute with what you say and bullish. Sometimes in doing that, you don't actually get to explain the full story, and then people get upset because I was so short and blunt, but I'm figuring it out. So if you want to have a look, it's at Pies_footy on Instagram. We do miss Murph, don't we? Nick had a corky type thing to the lower leg. He took some hits, didn't he? Gold Coast player rolled across him early in the game. Sully for strengthening midfield or Allen for transition ball. It's tough, man. It's tough. I think Ed, Allen or Sullivan. I'm saying Allen. It's in the chat. It's close. 44-56. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to leave it at that for the night. I will see you. So what we're going to do is Friday, we will do the moving the magnets for the extended teams, and then we'll be back on Sunday. So it'll be a bit of a spread out week. So stay busy tomorrow and Thursday. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and that's not a lot anyways. And until then, go Pies.